Jeffrey doesn't even go to the gym. Why would he?
Going to the gym is gay. I don't want to get too big like those chads who are jerks to girls.
Jeffrey stays at home, arguing with his Discord friends over a game of League of Legends. Jeffrey plays as the champion brand as support. When I was in university, I did pretty good. I started going to the gym in my student accommodation and I set the goal to make friends there. I struggled and I was shy and I thought it was cringe, but I did it. I followed a simple framework to make friends in the gym. Adonis visits the House of Iron. Through thousands of sweaty workouts, Adonis built the body of a Greek god. But that's not all. He rose to the top with a tribe of men alongside him. He started a brotherhood in the gym. With friendly competition and support, Adonis's tribe grew and grew. You've wanted to make friends, but you felt too uncomfortable following a lot of the cringy advice that's out there to make friends. And the truth is that making friends in the gym is probably one of the best places to make friends because you automatically have a huge shared interest with someone who's there. You just have to go about it the right way.
But Hamza, I'm in the gym to work out. I don't want to get distracted. Eat, sleep, lift, repeat.
Shut up, bro. Which one would you rather have, bitch? An awesome workout that gets distracted by the fact of your lonely existence? Or a great workout, but you've also made a new friend who you're gonna lift with tomorrow? You can always spare a few minutes to chat to someone who has the same interests and goals as you. That's one of the best parts of life. We need to stop this bullshit lone wolf, me no like other people type of vibe that so many people have got on right now. The real gains are the friends that we make along the way. So right now, I'm going to the best gym in my entire city, the most fanciest gym. Like, this is where like the Instagram models and the celebrities from Love Island, you know, those reality TV shows, this is where they go and train. There's like the fully like Instagram, like 100k something followers, like Instagram models, girls there. There's like the old rich guys who know all those models as well. And so it's leg day, I'm at the squat rack and there's two squats racks. Next to me is one of these like Instagram model looking girls. You know, I'm trying not to like stare or anything, but I'm doing my set and I kind of look to the side. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this girl, she's hip thrusting. She's got literally the entire bar full of work. I've never actually seen someone like load up the entire fucking bar. Must have been like probably about 300 kg for hip thrust. Like, I literally had to like look twice. I was like, what the fuck? She finishes her set and she comes up to me and she says like, oh, you know, she's just finished, like she's got one more set or something. Can I watch her stuff while she goes to the toilet? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Like, I'd die for you if you asked me. And I was like, hang on a minute, that was smart. I remember reading about a principle of persuasion, which is from the book, I don't know how you say this guy's name, Kalaladini, and it's I can't say these words, bro. Reciprocity. Yeah, I said it right, bro. Fuck you. Wow. And it's kind of like a psychological hack where if you ask someone for a favor, like, you know, for someone to do something small for you, like to watch your gym stuff, they will like you more because they've done that favor for you. So usually we would think that if we do, like, this is the simp mindset, right? If we do something for someone, we think that someone will like us more because we've done something for them. But that's not how it goes. It all works on like how much that person is invested into the other person. If you do something for someone else, you like them more. And I'm not saying that this girl tried to use like a psychological hack on me. One of the things I've said in my manipulation guide, which is kind of like a very interesting dirty kind of video if you want to like be sleeping with girls, one of the things I mentioned there is that healthy, normal sort of social people, you know, people who had like a nice positive feedback loop when they were in high school and they made friends, they use like these psychological hacks that we like little spurgs have to learn about. They seem to just use them normally. Like, normal healthy people will just ask you for a favor without thinking like, oh yes, if I ask someone for a favor, they'll probably like me more. So I'm watching her stuff, I'm literally stood there like a fucking knight, like white knight type of shit. I'm like literally just watching her. So like anyone who comes, I'm like just trying to protect my lady. She comes back and obviously this is my moment and I got shy. I was gonna compliment her on the weight that she was using on the bar, but I got shy and, you know, I was overthinking a little bit. I was just doing my sets and I was like, oh yeah, I should say something. You know, she came back, like smiled at me and like did this or something, but I didn't even say anything after that. And I wanted to just bring up that little story. It's completely real, that story, because that type of shit's gonna happen. You might be watching my videos and thinking that I'm like, you know, the social confident guy, and I do like to believe that I am pretty social, I'm pretty confident, but it'll still happen to me very, very often with girls and guys that, you know, I'll have the thought to like speak to this guy or something and I'll often just feel like a little bit shy, a little bit awkward, and I won't. It's completely normal to experience that. And very, very nicely, when this did happen and, you know, I felt shy and she was right next to me and I could have, like, that was the perfect opportunity to, you know, make friends with her and speak to her. I didn't beat myself up for it because I already understand this game. I already understand this life of like, you know, trying to make friends. It's like, it's always a little bit awkward. It's usually a little bit awkward at the first point, and you can't beat yourself up for it because that negative reinforcement that you give to yourself means that you'll be less likely to attempt something like that in the future. So I almost at that moment was looking at myself in like a meta kind of way, and I was like, yep, this is like one of the, you know, this is the 7% chance that I wouldn't speak to her, but you know, next time I probably will. And that positive mindset led me to the next day where I used the same like tactic. It's somewhat of a tactic because I knew, you know, like what I was doing by asking someone to like look at after my stuff, but it was also just like a nice sort of like quite easy, frictionless way to speak to someone without like it feeling ultra awkward to like come up to someone and like take their earphones out of their ear. So I'm doing weighted dips, I've got my belt, I've got my water bottle and everything. I dead ass like I needed to go to the toilet, and I could like, you know, grab all my shit, get out the plates back or something, but I still wanted to do like a couple more sets. There was a guy next to me, so I just straight up just asked him like, do you mind watching my stuff whilst I go to the toilet? Yeah, he's like, yeah, sure. He was really nice, like very polite with his energy straight away. So I have a piss, so I go to the toilet, come back, fist bump him, I thank him for it, and I realize he's got like a little breathing strip that one of the things like I used to wear, which like improves like the breathing flow from your nose. It's like almost like a plaster that you place here. And I said it to him like, oh yeah, I used to wear one of those when I'd go to sleep. Like, is your nose always blocked? And he was like, yeah, like he can't even sleep properly, can't even breathe properly. His nose, he's getting he literally just got his surgery yesterday as well. He's like, he has to like get fully surgery. His like nose is closing up and everything. So we have like a nice simple chat, fist bump him, and like, you know, it's just like a pleasant conversation. We're not truly friends, but this is now a guy who is no longer neutral. And it's so nice to have that in somewhere that you're going consistently, like in the gym. When you go there and everyone is somewhat neutral to you, it's a bit uncomfortable. We're not used to that. Humans or any animals are not used to being around other animals that are neutral. Think about how weird this is in the sense of like evolution and like survival. That is so strange. Okay, we can somewhat be around foes, enemies, and you know, we'll be around them momentarily. But apart from that, the only people that we should generally be around in terms of being like an animal living in the kingdom is our friends, our tribe. But in the modern day, we're surrounded by people who are neutral, and we stay neutral because we don't even hold that fucking eye contact with each other. We feel so like awkward to speak to each other. But here now was one extra guy in the gym who is pushed more towards the friend, and I knew for a fact that, you know, the next time I see him, we're gonna smile with fist bump and, oh, you're wearing the, you know, the strip again or something. And when you have someone in this position where like, you know, you're slightly more like friends, it's so easy then to level it up. So like 3-4 days later, I'm going in to train legs again. He sees me, he's with the girl, and he's like, oh, you're training legs? You know, we have a very quick conversation. I'm like, oh, you're training legs? What are you training today? I hit my leg workout. I didn't even see him, you know, I was like truly just focused on my own workout. I did want to just be focused. Go to the sauna, like go through all the pools and everything, spend like an hour there. I was gonna go check out this new room. I have like the premium membership in this place, and there's like extra rooms which the peasants can't go into. And I see that he's there with that same girl. So I walk in, I fist bump both of them, and I'm about to sit like on a table, you know, to the side. And they're both like, no, come sit with us. And so anyway, it's like, that's such a beautiful experience to be like invited to someone else. They were eating and everything. So I sat down, like introduced myself to the girl, and that was his sister. And they were like nothing but like so kind and warm to me. And we had like an awesome conversation. We got pretty deep. Like we talked about our weight loss goals. I talked about YouTube. We talked about like manifesting and like, you know, deep thoughts about everything, about our goals and dreams and careers. And so I'd say at this point, like we were officially friends. We got each other on Instagram, and me and the guy Chris, we've been training quite consistently since then. Like this is now a guy who has helped me in the gym so much. Like I've been hitting PR after PR because I've got a spot who like I can rely on, and it's just like awesome to train with a guy, and we've already like made like bigger plans. And so this is a beautiful experience that I want you to have too. And so making friends at the gym always revolves around a genuine compliment, because you've got to think, okay, the barrier to making a friend at the gym is quite simply just the awkwardness and the uncomfortability of walking up to someone who probably has their earphones in and just starting the initial conversation. After that, it's actually fairly easy. Imagine you've already like spoke to someone, had a good conversation with them. You almost have that plausible like deniability, like the excuse to go up to them again, like in the middle of everyone, because you've already spoke to them. If you already knew their name, you already spoke to them, you can go straight out with a fist bump and, oh, you know what, you're training today. But it's the first initial thing that when you see someone who looks kind of cool and you want to be friends, you know, you're somewhat interested in them, you just kind of like shy a little bit, because it feels like this friction to like stand up from the machine that you're currently on, or the bench that you're on, and go straight up to them whilst everyone's looking and like say like, oh, hey, do you want to be friends with me? So this framework revolves around just going straight up to someone, giving them a genuine compliment. And interestingly, you can't really want anything else from them. Wanting something else from this interaction. So for example, you might, you know, really want to be friends with this guy who looks cool. You might want to get his Instagram, or this girl, you might want to flirt with her and like try and date her or sleep with her. That ruins like the potential of this framework. You have to straight up go with this acknowledgement that you are literally just trying to like compliment and acknowledge someone's hard work. And that's exactly what the compliment is about. So oftentimes people say like, you know, go up with the compliment, and they won't really expand on what you should say. So then you feel awkward because you're like, okay, what should I say? The compliment that you should always give, especially in the gym, is always about hard work ethic. So there was another time that I was in the gym, and there was this like fit girl behind me, like as literally like physically fit girl behind me, and I was doing like lateral raises. She was doing like, they always seem to do like some kind of like weird variation of like lunges or something. She was doing it, I was like, like she had a 6-pack, bro. Like she had like probably the best 6-pack like in real life that I've seen on a girl. So after I finished my set and like she was like, she went somewhere, she came back, took my earphones off, like did this to get her attention, and she said like, yo, like I just wanted to say like you've got a full-on 6-pack, that looks sick, like you must have worked so hard for that. The thing is, I was not trying to sleep with her. Like if I was, I'd 100% I'd tell you, right? I'd tell you the complete truth. I was trying to bro. But dead ass, like I literally just wanted to acknowledge the fact that she must have been working so fucking hard, because I used almost like a level of empathy to think, okay, if I was her, or you know, I'm in a similar position, I've been working really hard. If someone came up to me and said something like that, like, yo, I can tell you've been working really hard, like well done, you'd almost tear up. Like that would be like, to get acknowledged, like that would feel so nice. So I knew that if just by kind of saying this, but in not like a extra way of wanting something out of the interaction, you know, to say like, oh yeah, you look really good, you've been working hard, like can I have your number? I literally wanted nothing more than to say that sentence and to give her a fist bump and then go back to my workout. And that's exactly what I did. And it was like her reaction was so beautiful and so innocent, where she was like she was taken aback in almost like a shocked and almost like a very like ecstatic way, where she burst into like a huge smile, and she was like, oh my, like, you know, that means so much. She started telling me like a life story, like, oh yeah, like I trained in this other club and I trained with my father, and I was like, yeah, have a good one, mate. Put my earphones and just went back to it. It was awesome. That was like a very genuine, like happy experience, and it made me realize like it can literally take 20 seconds to turn someone from neutral to like being pushed to a friend. Now I wouldn't say that this, you know, she just instantly become like a real friend. To become like a real good quality friend takes time, and you have to like, you know, you have to have quite a compatible personality. You have to like build up and get into deep conversations. But just right there, it's like we're almost on the basis of like we can smile at each other and knowing that there's like a mutual sense of respect and appreciation, and it really does brighten your workout experience having people like that in the gym at the same time that you're in. And if you do feel too awkward to go straight up to someone with this type of compliment, you know, compliment their work ethic, to say, you know, they look really good, you must have been working hard, then you can go up with the simple sort of innocent excuse of just asking them to watch over your stuff. For example, you can literally be on a bench, or benches might not work well because there's usually quite a lot of them, but like for example, if you're on a machine and there's someone on the machine next to you, you could say, yo, excuse me, like I'm just gonna go to the toilet, you mind like not letting anyone jump onto this machine, I've got like 2 sets left. And everyone will, like, if you say it in like this nice way, every single person will be like, yeah, no problem. Like, I remember that getting someone to do a favor for you actually makes them like you more. So if you do feel that your social skills right now aren't really that high and you need like every advantage that you can get to try and make friends, then this is probably the way that if I had to reset and have like poor social skills, no offense, then this is the way that I would do it. Structure every one of these interactions with like first asking for a favor, seeing how they respond to that favor, because that instantly would show me like, are we compatible? Did they seem really nice? Did they seem warm to me? Or did they just kind of like, you know, brush me aside and say like, yeah, maybe they will, or maybe they even said to me that like they wouldn't watch my stuff or something. And when you do get into this slight conversation where maybe you're giving the compliment, or you know, you've asked them to look after your stuff, oftentimes a lot of young guys will say to me like they can get into the conversation, but after that they don't know what to say. And the beauty of this is like you don't really have to say much. The first initial interaction of trying to make someone more like being pushed to the friend side of this, like this bar, that interaction just has to be just a few seconds long. And I think it's better if it is just like 10-20 seconds long. And so that means that you literally don't have to say much at all. You can go in with almost like your pre-registered compliments, wait for them to say like, oh my god, yeah, that really means a lot, and just, yeah, I hope you have a good workout. That's it. That in itself is already entirely positive, and you don't have to stay around for the conversation to like crash and burn and get boring. Make it sweet, simple, innocent, in and out, 10-20 seconds, and it's like you've already just like gotten a positive, entirely positive experience. Sometimes when you have that initial interaction, they might bring up something that you could like essentially follow up on and extend the conversation. I found that sometimes people almost in a sense of awkwardness will start to like open up a little bit in this first conversation, but then they don't actually want to stay around for that conversation. One of the times, like, okay, I'll go up to a girl and I'll say something and she'll be like, oh, you know, like I'm getting ready for my trip to Dubai. I don't want to tell that story because she watches my videos. So one of the times, for example, I'll go up to a girl, you know, compliment her in the same way, and she'll say like, yeah, you know, she's Vulcan or whatever, and we can get into that conversation of something she just mentioned, like, okay, she's going on a trip, and I can speak about that. The issue is that then essentially we're both just disrupting our workouts, and it's like you almost see the conversation start to die, and it feels a little bit awkward because then you can see that this person then wants to like go back to their workout. And so it's way better that even if they mention something that you could take an interest in, you almost like very, very slightly acknowledge it and then say, okay, like I didn't want to disturb your workout, you have a good one, I'm gonna hop on now. That way, next time you see them, if you remember the thing that they said, that's even better that you bring it up the next time. So if the first time you speak to someone, you're like, you know, you've worked really hard, and they're like, oh, thank you, like, you know, I've got a holiday, I'm going to Jamaica. You don't have to sit there and be like, oh, Jamaica, where? You can just be like, oh yeah, that'll be awesome, that, have a good one, mate. That's it. Then the next time you see them, they'll be like, oh, you're getting excited for Jamaica. It's like, if you remembered the thing that they said in the first initial conversation, they will feel so important and acknowledged by you. And you can do this entire thing in such a beautiful, helpful way, because of course you can go to people who, you know, already have the fit bodies and say to them, you know, you look awesome, you've been working hard. But you could also go to someone who looks like they're new to the gym and or say the same thing, like, yo, I just saw you working out, like, do you seem seem like you're really working hard to respect that. Like imagine like some overweight guy who's feeling a bit insecure, and you come up to him with like a genuine compliment like that. Like he's gonna go home like feeling so welcomed there. Like he was maybe overthinking that everyone's judging him and everything. And you've just been that shining light that motivates him to continuously train. That guy's gonna literally remember you for years. Like I'd respect you if you did something like that. This is the framework. Go to the gym and do your workout. See someone that looks interesting, someone that maybe is new to the gym, someone that's working really hard, someone that's got a really good physique. Think about the genuine compliment that you're gonna give them and nothing else. You don't want anything else out of this interaction. Just go up to them. Maybe sometimes you have to like take your earphones off and like, you know, put your hand up to them so they can slightly see. And in a happy way, just say that compliment. The one that I would advise to you is quite literally just like, oh, you look really awesome. I can tell that you've been putting in a lot of work. Or you see them with loads of weight, you'd be like, well, you're really strong. Like you must have worked really hard to bring the weight up that much. You say it with a smile. They'll be like, oh my God, thank you. And just be like, yeah. Like after that compliment, I always go with the fist bump. You don't exactly have to, but I think like that's more like, it just feels with like good with my person. I've been like fist bumping people for so long, so it doesn't feel awkward or it doesn't feel forced. For you, you might feel a little bit weird with that, so you don't have to do it. You don't force it if it doesn't feel real to you. You can introduce yourself there if you want to, but I feel like that somewhat gets potentially like a little bit too much, unless if they seem quite warm and receptive there already. Be the judge of that. It requires a little bit of social calibration. Maybe stay on the safe side to not assume to like, you know, introduce yourself and get into the full conversation, unless if it's really obvious that they're like interested in you and they're like, oh yeah, you look good too, mate. You've been working hard too. Literally just have that 20-second conversation, go back to your workout, and you've got like another like acquaintance, like positive acquaintance in the gym. You'll see them around, and that's when it's way easier to level it up and to get to like a real friendship level. Because you might be thinking that, yeah, it's nice to have, you know, a bunch of people that you can smile with and everything, but how do you get like a real valuable friendship out of this? And that comes from upping the intensity. And you can up the intensity by having that initial conversation and just kind of checking the vibe and seeing how much this person reciprocates. Yes, I said it right. Reciprocates your attention, your warmth, and your vibe. And if, for example, they're stood there with you talking, you guys get into like a fairly decent conversation, then you can automatically move the conversation a bit deeper and say like, oh yeah, we should work out together. Like I'll take your number or your Snapchat down or something. And at this point, with all honesty, upping the intensity will slightly distract your workout, because at this point, if you are going to up the intensity with this conversation, it's going to get longer, it's going to get like more distracting, and you know, you're going to be in this conversation instead of being focused on your work. So it is going to slightly distract from your workout, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Your next couple of sets might not be as like, you know, vigorous and like exhausting and everything, but then you've probably just like up leveled to like a whole new friend, which in my opinion is like a massive gain. And you listening to this advice right now might seem a little bit awkward because you're thinking, okay, go up with the compliment, and then if they stay around, then ask them something serious. It only feels awkward right now because you're not currently in the flow of the conversation. So when you're actually in the conversation, and you know, if it seems really awkward, then you can cut it short. But if it's going nice, essentially you'll automatically continue the flow of it anyway. Have the nice conversation, get their details, be the initiator, and invite them to work out or do something else with you. And there we go, that's an official new friend that you've got. Click on this video to learn more about social skills. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.